Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. I have my crystal ball off to the side, so I will be scrying throughout this message. If you're new to my channel, my readings are a little different, and if you're returning, welcome back. You know how we do if it doesn't resonate with you. If you're forcing the story to fit, arguing with it in any way, just leave it behind for the people who it's meant for. The manifestation core principles and the energy experience basics classes are now booking for the second round for, what are we in, May? I think it's May. So definitely check that out. And yeah, let's go ahead. Okay. Taking a step aside and allowing spirit to pass through me. Opening up to receive information. Okay, I'm opening up. It's like opening up into a very wide space. This wide space feels a little cavernous. So there's something here about, very deeply buried things. Let's see what this is. All right, very deeply buried things. Someone here is reading The Alchemist. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Okay. So I'm seeing this. We're gonna forget what this card says. I'm looking. If you want to know, it's that. But what I'm seeing is I'm seeing this. This is like the space that I stepped into. And if you look at that space, there's something there that's not fully formed. And everyone else over here is looking at it. And then the past, it's also not fully formed. So this almost feels like the future. This feels like the past. Someone here, you're in the process of being made. You may be feeling like you're doing a lot of soul searching, trying to figure out what's really important to you, what you're actually passionate about. The message on this card right now for me is that this is where everything grows. This is what everything stems from, is this pursuit and this understanding of who we really are. There's a story that's coming to mind right now. It's a story about Apollonius of Tyana, and the historical story, not the biblical story. And according to history of Apollonius of Tyana, he went to the east. I don't remember if it was Egypt or if he went to India. I can't remember anymore. But when he got off of the boat, this man approached him, this man that wound up being like a teacher to him. And the man looked at him and called him by name. And he said, "How do you know me? Have we met before?" And the man said, "No." He said, "I know you because I know myself." And this is the idea that's coming through. Someone here is getting to know themselves. This is know thyself. In knowing yourself fully and understanding what it is that you like, understanding what you want, who you are, how you behave, your triggers, the things that are still deeply wrapped up inside of you that are perceptions, that are limitations. In knowing all of this, it makes you wise, right? This is something that is going to allow you to grow your external life in a new way. This is what the tree represents. What we have here is we have something that is shooting down roots. So this is really about who we are, I heard how we attract others. So with community. So for some of you, this is about the types of people that we attract and understanding what it is that maybe we have going on inside of our own vibration that is attracting these types of people or allowing them to pass. Very interesting. And there's a lot, the roots are standing out to me now. Everything walks on the roots is kind of how that was put on me. So everything that is going on inside of our life, it really depends on the things that are knocking around subconsciously. Interesting. Okay. Someone is coming out of the other side of a very long transition here, a very long transition period. And because I'm not necessarily, again, taking the name of the card, I'm seeing this. What I'm being drawn to is the forest, the idea of the forest. It's like there's 3 phases within this transition period. So I almost feel like COVID actually is one of them. I don't know why. But so COVID being part of that transition period, this is a very long transition period. This lasted, 5-6 years maybe for somebody. And they're coming out the other side of that. And one of the things that they're coming out with is this understanding that they aren't actually alone in some way. So here, one of the things that's happening is this healing card. So this is all, and I am being told to take that, the name of that card. This is all about some sort of healing that's taking place. I'm seeing this, so I want to show you this. So the reason why I said not quite alone is because I see this person, which I'm seeing as the person I'm reading for, but then there's this other being, and this other being represented by the bird. It's like a messenger of the gods or a messenger of spirit, right? There's something else here that is with us, even if we don't necessarily realize it. Notice there's only one reflection in this water. And here what I'm seeing is I'm seeing that as this light up here that's almost feeding this healing energy into this bird. There's something, and again, notice those roots, right? Those roots are very prominent here. There's something that's taking place from a higher perspective of ours, right? So maybe you view it as a higher self or whatever, however you view it. This is feeding information somewhere into our subconscious, and this is starting to take root. So some of you now inside this collective, something that you're experiencing, especially after this last solar eclipse, is you're having certain things bubble up to the surface that maybe haven't bubbled up in a very long time, or maybe you're discovering new things. For some of you, this is going to take the form of memories as well. Memories that you've forgotten from long ago, especially childhood, early childhood. Some of you are going to be tempted to kind of withdraw from the world during this time. And I'm seeing this as the transitions now, those 3 transitions. When I look at these transitions, one looks like a loss of something. Another one looks like almost like an awakening or a deeper merging with spirit in some sense, some way. And then the middle transition, I think, is actually different for everybody. But there is this sense here with this bird looking at this salamander that there's some sort of like, well, I'm taking it as a salamander, which tells me what's going on here. We're looking at some sort of regeneration that's taking place. It's like a passionate regeneration. Someone here is figuring out what they're passionate about. Someone here is getting to know themselves on a deeper level. And as they dig deeper and they get to know themselves on a deeper level, they start to understand that maybe the things that they thought were wrong with them aren't actually wrong with them. What they're understanding is the spaces of themselves that need to be integrated, right? There's also something here about anger. Someone here has tried to suppress anger for a very long time. Saying that because of the red that's showing up on the side of this card. And they've tried to resist that anger, and now they're no longer doing that. They're learning how to work with the anger. I'm seeing that over here too. I do want to say that. That's not going to be a message for everybody, but that's for somebody. It's right there. Okay. So the theme of this reading is know thyself. That's what someone is doing right now. They're taking the time to really get in there, get to know themselves so that they can change what it is that they attract, not only in their life, but especially inside their social groups. Maybe even so that they can change what they attract in terms of a partner. Okay, yep. So this is all about clearing things out for me. When we look at this, Orion might be important for somebody. When we look at this, I talked about this in the previous reading that I did. It's almost like this gateway or this portal, and we have a singular focus towards it. Someone has a goal in doing this. For some of you, obviously, it's going to be a goal to know yourself and make your life better. But I do feel that for some of you, it's because you are actually trying to because you are actually trying to manifest something. I had to think about it, make sure. And in this manifestation, one of the things that it's like a singular focus that you have. It's something that you absolutely want inside of your life. And in order to do that, you know that you've had to cut things out. And so this right here is feeling like that cave that it was being brought to in the very beginning. Someone's still in this cave. Someone is still cutting things out, but they're starting to wonder if it's even worth it. And the answer is yes. That's why this reading is coming out. Because it's basically confirmation for somebody that you're doing it, keep going, right? It doesn't mean that everything that you attract is going to be exactly what you want. People are still people. People are still on some bullshit, right? But this means that you are now in a place where you can actually attract the thing that you want. Someone's doing the work for this, and this is working. I want to bring up something else about the mountain, right? The mountain in tarot usually represents our spiritual climb. And so what's really happening here, even if we have a singular focus towards a particular manifestation that may have to do with the 3D, right, for some of you, what's really happening is that we're on that spiritual journey. It's oftentimes the thing that our heart or our soul yearns for that causes us to go through certain processes that then help us to evolve. The interesting thing about that, though, is that by the time we actually reach that portal, whatever we're trying to manifest no longer becomes quite as important. It no longer becomes the actual actual focus of the goal. It's almost like a happy byproduct of the thing, because we figure out something else deep inside of us that's even more important by that point. Okay, so again, going back to that cave, we discussed this last week. The cave houses the dragon. We have dragon magic. Okay, so this is very interesting. All right, someone here, you are starting to notice that as you do this, it's almost like your intuition or your gut feelings about things are starting to increase. One thing about this is when we get into this idea of the dragon and the shadow and the inner child and that whole complex, there's an aspect that I call the observer, and that's deep inside that sacral chakra area, where once we start clearing out those energies, our intuition becomes much stronger. So someone here is starting to have that happen here with this intuition. Notice the orange, yellow, and blue being very prominent. For me, these are the three psychic centers that we usually talk about. With the blue, it's the third eye in combination with other chakras, the yellow with the solar plexus, and then the orange with that sacral chakra. There is this merging of the various centers, because now we've cleared out the things from our life that weren't appropriate from us, and because we're getting to know ourselves, we're showing up in an appropriate way, which is how we permanently align those chakras. And because someone is doing that, you have this energy of this dragon magic unfolding, right? The shadow, I personally think the shadow is a lot more complicated than what people talk about today in the West. There's not just a house of our repressed emotions. There's a lot more going on in that, and that of course comes back to that like shamanic concept of the shadow. There's a lot of magic, a lot of power that's hidden inside of it, also a lot of knowledge. And one of the things that I'm seeing here is, as somebody navigates these spaces, getting to know themselves, which you're doing shadow work if you're doing that, whether you're intending to go in and do shadow work or not. If you're getting to know yourself and you're understanding what you're triggered by, if you're understanding what you require in your life of others and of yourself and of the universe, then you're understanding things about how you work, how you operate, what your preferences are, right? The point of shadow work isn't to never be bothered by anything, right? That's not the point. The point is that if there are things that are hitting on certain wounds, making you feel a way about yourself, that you no longer feel that way, right? Because you're coming into union with yourself. You're learning to love yourself. In many ways, that is the portal that this sword is aimed at. What I'm seeing here is this is bringing us into alignment with our own personal light, but I'm seeing that not just our light, it's also our shadow, right? The two things coming into union with one another, and that's where something beautiful grows. So, one of the things that someone may be working on right now is this energy, and this is the energy of sadness. For some of you, there's a deep seed of grief that has been lodged in there, and you may be coming into a place where this is now beginning to transmute. However, before it transmutes, there's this almost like this percolation or this bubbling up of events that have taken place over the series of your life. The series of your life, maybe it's series of lives. So I'm almost feeling that for some of you, you're doing heavy past life work at this time and understanding where in the past this has actually been seeded, and you're able to do something with it now. Okay, interesting. Let's see. Which one am I pulling from here? Three cards. Nope, not that one. Okay, three cards. Bottom. Okay, and this is all about the hard work that somebody is doing here. Again, being re-emphasized here. This is a process that is taking some time. But this is because we're trying to exert our own self-control, our own understanding, creating ourself as our empire. Here, again, the chakras coming into alignment. The 7 cups is my chakra card. Okay, and this is about soul lessons. This is about the things inside of us that are in conflict with each other, right? So someone here, this is a very beautiful energy. This is where we've been in some sort of transition, probably trying to do some sort of healing work for a very long time. It feels like we're nearing the end of the bulk of that healing work, right? There's always more work to do. That's just how we are as people. We're constantly taking in stimuli. We're taking in situations, and the work is work that we do our whole lives, but there's a time in the very beginning for quite a few years where it's very heavy, hard work, and after that it's not quite as heavy or hard. It becomes second nature, and it's quite easy. It can be quite easy. But what's happening here is that somebody here is learning their soul lessons, right? This is what I was supposed to learn from that. And this is what I took away from that. And now that I took that away from that, that makes more sense of this going on over here. There's some sort of conflict within the self, right? This is how we all start out. This is what insecurities are. They're conflicts with ourselves, things that we don't like about ourselves, or that we don't believe about ourselves, or ways that we don't think we're good enough. And someone here is learning to work through those things. They're also learning that the conflicts that they have with other people, this is how we as human beings, this is how the mechanism operates. This is how we as human beings teach each other, right? Our worst, horrible people that we've ever met in our life, in some ways, can be our biggest teachers. I was in this super abusive relationship for 3 years that actually I spent about 15 years trying to heal from, and I can honestly say that man was the biggest teacher I ever had in my life, and I wouldn't change anything about those 3 years, because I wouldn't be here doing what I am if it wasn't for that. Right? There's something here where someone has taught you, but we have a choice. Do we see them as the devil, or do we see them as the teacher? That's not to say that what they did was okay. That's not to put them on some pedestal, but it's to understand the perspective that we can have that re-empowers us, right? Someone here is working on that. They're working on how they view things, their perspective on things, so that they can take that personal power back. This is all about knowing yourself. When you know yourself, you're able to take personal power back from situations where you really viewed them as like the monster under the bed. This is where somebody is starting to release that point of view and understanding that life is actually doing this for them, so that there's this unfolding, right? This unfolding is often painful. Any sort of growth comes with growing pains. It comes through situations that, it's like when we purify metals, right? It's a very slow process, a very hot smoldering process. Someone here has been through the fire, and they're understanding to look back at the fire and not see something that burned them. They're looking at something that purified them. And so I love this, because when we start seeing the events inside of our life that way, we step out of that victim role and we step into more empowerment. We move out of this energy and we move into this energy here, where now we're open and we're ready to learn. Someone here is becoming ready to learn. In this process of knowing themselves, they're preparing themselves for the ultimate teacher. The ultimate teacher is something that has always been with you. So this is interesting. That energy changed. Interesting. Okay. Some of you are essentially your soul stepping into a place where you're about to meet the true teacher. And last hint on this card, that reflection, there's only one being. So, okay, they're telling me to pull over. Where are we going? Where are we going? One card from here. Okay. You like my organized chaos today? I like it. It's like my life. Same. Okay. Oh. Okay, I'm being told I'm listening. We have this. Notice those keys, right? And notice those keys down there. I've talked about this on this channel before. Those represent the power to loose and the power to bind, right? What do we allow? What do we not allow? What do we say? What do we not say? What do we get involved in? What do we not involve ourselves in? This is all about the management of our energy, which can only come when we know ourselves. When you manage your energy, you are managing your godhood, right? You're managing your power that is going and your power that's being received. Let's see. This is the Acolyte, new projects and learning. Again, this whole thing is about learning. What are we learning about ourselves? Right? What are we learning about our place amongst people? What are we attracting? Is what we're attracting the point? right? Or is the point something else? And once we understand and fully incorporate that something else, then we attract the thing. And then is it even important anymore? For some of you, you might find that it's not. And that was never the point. It was just the catalyst to get you started on the path, to delving deeper and to doing the work. Notice how the forever in my light also mirrors this. It has that path. And notice how the path in the upper realm is all twisty, 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 twisty. So someone here, this may be representing a period of our life where all we did was we focused on prayer. We focused on, the higher things. And then it wasn't until we started delving deep inside of ourselves into that darkness that the path becomes straight. Right? This is where your answers are. This is where our answers are. This is why every time people ask me questions about things, I usually tell them, find it inside yourself, right? Because you are your biggest teacher. You are your greatest teacher. Someone's coming into the knowledge of that. I feel that if you are watching this at the time that I post this, I have to say this. I feel like the month of July is very important. June moving into July is very important. There's something here that's going to unfold and uncover for whoever this is, and I'm almost seeing like this light being cast, like this, I call it light, but I don't think anybody else would think it was light. This light being cast into this cavern. Something awakens, right? Something truly awakens. I'm almost seeing it like this black vessel, right? The vessel being a symbol of the womb, right? So that sacral space. And if you look, there's an eye that's closed. It's almost as though that eye opens. There's a quote on my channel. If you navigate to my channel, it's from Carl Jung, and it is that we do not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. And that's what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing that someone becomes fully aware of all the spaces within themselves that they were previously unaware of. And this is the first step in that process of true integration. So this is beautiful. I love this. I'm hearing one more card. So let's see. A reward for your trouble. It's kind of how I'm feeling it. And there we go. We come back full circle. Okay. We have this community. So again, that sense of belonging, that sense of partnership for some of you. And what we wind up with at the very end of this is the singer of connection, the merging of two things or many things. For some of you, this might be soul tribe. For some of you, this is a significant other. For some of you, it's just feeling like you finally belong. Not that you need to belong to anything, but feeling like, this is home. Yeah, I'm going to leave that there. We're not going to get caught up on semantics on that last one. If you understand, you understand. If you don't understand because you're caught up in semantics, I can't help you. I can't help you. So, but this is a very beautiful energy. No, they're saying not yet. They're saying not yet. They want me to point out the green and the blue. So here for somebody, we may have been in a third eye space for a very long time. Negative qualities of the third eye is being extremely judgmental. We may have felt very judgmental about humanity, and there's something about the opening up of the heart and us becoming vulnerable that heals that. So, okay, whoever that's for, that's not for everybody. So if this is your message, this is actually really beautiful energy, and I can't wait to see how this unfolds for you. And leave me a comment if you're so inclined. Feel free to like this video, and until next time.